What is up, everybody? Welcome out to our 6 o'clock live stream here on YouTube. Soon to be on Instagram, Facebook, and some other places, but
Grinder.
for now, no. But we do have some cool stuff coming up in the new year, so hopefully, we'll get to some of that stuff squared away, and we'll go from there. We got a cool topic tonight that I think is going to be interesting, and we'll see how that goes. We had planned on actually talking about this last week, but with the sad news of Jack passing, and it just didn't seem right to not talk about that last Sunday. So today we're going to talk about the Instagram influencer who passed away from uh, complications from an anesthesia tattoo. I got a little bit of documentation, so this way we actually sound like we know what we're talking about. Got some details, and we'll go from there. It's going to be interesting to see what everybody else's take is on this. I mean, I could pretty much guess at this point how most of our people are going to respond, but you know it's gonna be a cool topic. We'll get into it. I kind of wanted it as a different angle of, hey, like, I'm not gonna bash the whole anesthesia tattoo thing. I already kind of did that when I did my episode earlier in the year. And if you haven't seen it, you can go back and watch it. Um, I believe it's called sedation tattoos. So it's already been talked about, but I think with this recent death, man, it's shining a different light onto it. And I wanted to look at it from statistically, people that normally die from anesthesia, and what are the odds? And you and I both have had surgeries, major surgeries.
Yes.
You more recently than me. So it's a risk that going in the door. E- exactly what you're in for. They tell you flat out, okay, man, there could be complications. So we'll get into that in a minute. So we got a couple cool things lined up. I just want to double check, man. Do we sound okay? Look okay? Everything's cool before we start rolling. And I am actually going to do something really cool. I have yet to do this in here, but let me do this. I'm going to do a poll real quick. I don't think I've ever done this in here. Start a poll. All right. So I am actually going to put a poll up right now. It's a video that you can actually catch on YouTube right now. I didn't do it, but I think if you're into tattoo history, you should definitely check it out. And what I'm talking about is the sit down that was done
absolutely.
by Rich Fye. He and Mike Schwaggart put it together. Schwaggart was let's call it MC for the occasion. And he sat with Richie Montgomery, Tony Polito, Michael Perfetto. I'm trying to think who else was in that. Ronnie Delacqua. And Joe, I can't remember his last name. Or it was Pete Giaquinto.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I'm just curious to see if anybody out there has seen it. Let's see what the responses are in chat.
Working tattoo shop, everybody.
So right now, it looks like we have 100% no. They have not seen it. So, I feel like if you are really deep into tattoo history, you really should check it out. If you all want, I was just gonna show everybody a quick clip of it to see the format and to really see what it was about. So let me see if I can share this real quick. We all know that I have issues with EV Mark sharing pages, so bear with me for a moment, and hopefully I don't get copyright dinged. But we're going to talk about it, so it's not like I'm flat out just using it as a So obviously you can hear it in the background. I'm trying to get Evie Mux to pull it up. Bear with me one moment, folks. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is that when I got, I sat down and I talked with Ronnie and Marvin Moskowitz at the Philly show. You all right, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
sure?
I'm good.
All right. He was actually surprised that I saw it. And I was like, why would you be surprised? Obviously it didn't reach the masses, we should say. But you know, it was pretty interesting to watch. And let's bring it up on the screen real quick. I'm just going to play you a quick clip of it. Right here is Tony Polito, rest in peace, who's been gone for a couple years. He is actually talking about
think of anything else to do. This was a loophole for them.
He's talking about
in
the ban in New York City.
There was a World's Fair going to start, and they didn't want any tourists or anything to see this in New York. And there was no revenue in it for the city anyway, because there was only about 12 tattoo shops in all of New York City. So all the fellas, when they outlawed it, they says, we'll move over to New Jersey, and they outlawed it in New Jersey at the same time, in Newark.
And they got
about the club.
And bear in mind that when this happened, when they outlawed tattooing in New York City, this was like the golden age of 42nd Street. You know what I mean? This was like,
yeah, but as you can see, it's a really cool setup. How they're all sitting around a table, and they're really just kind of like shooting the shit, but they're talking about different things that have, went on throughout their career. Tony Polito talks about him having to, have bulletproof glass up in his shop.
Glass, yeah.
So I really feel like if you are into tattoo history, it might be something that you would. Let me get rid of the banner so you could see the name of it if you ever want to look it up. It's called The Sit Down. It's under Rich FIE. It's his site. Amazing video. So I implore you to go check it out. With that said, I did a really cool interview yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you follow us on Instagram or not, or Tattoos and Review on Instagram. But the person posted it. The shop posted it. I got to sit down yesterday with Sailor Eddie. And that episode should be coming out probably end of this week, beginning of next. So it's a good one, folks. We're talking about some serious history where we start off the whole conversation with us talking about his grandparents, Sailor Eddie and Esther. I asked him some questions that I felt like the common person would want to know. One of them was, why did you guys do the assembly line setup? Was it out of need or was it out of, whatever? And I'm not going to give you the answer. You're going to have to watch it to get the answer, but it was super interesting. And to be honest with you, he's been tattooing for 57 years. The guy has spent a lifetime tattooing. And, hey, there's going to be some points in there where it's maybe, some people might find it a little bit abrasive because there's in his world, the way he grew up, there was no black and white. There was no gray area. It was only black and white. And, he understands that, in this day and age, people are going to do, their thing and their way or whatever, but he just asks that people respect how things used to be. I think that you'll get a lot out of that interview. And it's really, really, I had a really good time. It was probably one of my favorite interviews so far. So should be interesting if you want to catch that as soon as it's out.
I knew that Paul Rogers, and Stoney Sinclair had both worked in the carnivals, but I didn't know that Eddie's grandfather did.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that Eddie's grandmother had knives thrown at her.
Yeah. Yep. So he talks about that. And then we talked about him getting into the tattooing craft. there was a small little break in there where his grandpa went to World War II, and then came back and he started to tattoo again. We had conversations about his family and the Funk family. So that would be, for the people that don't know, Philadelphia Eddie's family. There was some other really good stories that I had never heard. And you know what? He was actually surprised that I did my homework when I walked in the door and I asked some stuff. And he's like, I'm surprised you know that. And, so it was cool. Um, I try to go into these interviews with as much information as I can, because I kind of look at it like, if you're going for a job interview, you want to have as much information in your back pocket about the company you're applying for. It's going to make it look 1,000 times better when it comes to the interview process. Just shows that you're interested and you want to really know what's going on. So hopefully I can get that done this week. If not this week, beginning of next week. And then I have some other great interviews coming up soon as well. So really cool stuff lined up for 2025. My I don't want to say it was laziness, my funk that I was in. Um, I think I've pretty much kicked myself in the ass at this point, and I'm motivated and I'm rocking and rolling again. So
The P-Funk?
yeah, man,
P-Funk that you were in?
I think a lot of it had to do with my mom being sick and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And I just
Jesus.
had a shit ton of stuff on my plate, but it just sucks because the channel kind of suffered a little bit. So 2025, brand new year, gonna be a lot of cool stuff lined up this year. Shirts, I got other stuff lined up. I got other stuff lined up with people that are gonna do, some other merch for me. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. Gonna be a great year. Also, for anyone that hasn't yet, there is a way, if you go into chat, where you can join the channel as a member. And I'm not asking you to do that. If you want to, that's cool. But I want you to make sure you have that turned on, because I just found out today that doing some research, I'm able to actually give out 5 channel memberships every other week. So I want to do that for you all. So if you don't know how to do it, I think if you just click on the $, it'll say something like allow gifts or accept gifts instead of join. Okay. The membership thing will come up. There'll be like 3 little dots. Click that, and it'll say something about accepting gifts. Make sure you do that. And what we'll do is we'll give you guys a chance to do it. If you can't do it right now, um, watch a YouTube video and look how to do it. And I won't give any away this week, just so this way I give you guys enough time to figure it out, because you can do it on any channel. Once you do it once, you can accept a free gift, community gift at any channel. So thank you, sir, for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. But yeah, so because we're doing some cool stuff in the community tab under members as well, that'll be coming up soon. So it'll just give you a little taste, and you'll say, hey, you know what? This is cool. This isn't cool. It's up to you if you want to. There's no commitment after your 30 days is over. If you don't want to renew or whatever, that's fine. But I want to at least give everybody a chance to receive a free one. So, all right, let's get into this conversation. I know you and I both were like chomping at the bit to do this one, and then all of a sudden, stuff went sideways, and we had to.
I mean, where before it was a hypothetical.
Yeah,
That's like the biggest difference between now and when you did the episode before.
Yeah, it was always, hey, look, this could be a problem.
Right.
So I'm going to give you a quick background for the people that don't know. The gentleman's name was Ricardo Godoi, I believe his name. It's Godoi. Godoi, whatever.
Godillo?
Godillo? Okay. Well, no, because it's OI, not IO. So whatever, it doesn't matter. The dude was married. He was a CEO of the Godoi Premium Group of luxury cars. He did a bunch of Instagram reels where he had, fancy cars behind him, wearing gold chains, like he was one of those dudes. The guy had 220,000 Instagram followers. So this isn't some just like, 10,000
Quarter of a
followers.
million.
Yeah, dude, pretty huge following. The gentleman was from Brazil. Okay. he actually posted the day of that he was going to get the tattoo and said, "Hey, I'll see you guys in a couple hours. I'll show you what it looks like." So on January 20th, I'm just going to call him Richard so I don't have to pronounce his last name, went in for a general anesthesia tattoo to get his whole back done. Where he went in was actually a private hospital in Santa Catarina, Brazil. Now, I read private and I thought, okay, well, are we talking like, some shitty, little facility? It was not. The Daily Mail actually reported that it was a hospital that was outfitted with everything that was needed for a proper surgery, including staff, doctors, equipment, medications, had everything. So this would be just like anybody else going to a regular hospital to have a surgery done. Okay. So that takes that out of the equation. Because originally, I think when you and I talked, I thought it was like some dude that came into a shop and administered anesthesia while the dude was on the table, and you know what I mean? So, okay, we got that out of the way. Legit place, legit hospital, legit, people working. What happened was he was actually on the table. They didn't even start tattooing yet. He went into cardiac arrest when they began to intubate and apply the anesthesia. So that happened, and they immediately called for a cardiac doctor, and they tried to revive him, and no luck. So his family, I believe the next day, had to go into his Instagram account and post that he had passed away from this tattoo. The authorities at this point they're saying that there was no foul play suspected at this time. They were looking into it. The owner of the tattoo studio where he went said that Richard was a good friend and a client, and he deeply regrets his passing. So, you know, at this point, like, who's fallible? Is it the studio, the tattoo studio? Is it the private hospital? And then we'll get into the other stuff. I mean, to me, I guess it would be the facility that did the anesthesia.
Right, but from your own surgeries, the amount of paperwork that you sign, giving them permission,
Right.
to put you under.
So, like, knowing that it's going to be an issue, you are
I
like,
think it's the guy's fault.
so it's not the facility, it's not the tattoo artist, it's the guy's fault.
It's the guy's fault.
Okay.
My back is done from about the middle of my back to my shoulders. I probably have about 15, maybe 20 hours into it.
Okay.
And
You're here.
yeah,
You're alive.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I got you.
And one of the first thing that I got done on it was an eagle and a snake. And I got it done by by the guy that taught me to tattoo, who was showing off for the other members of his club. And I felt like he was on my back with the tattoo machine, just pounding the fucking ink in there.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I think that
And I'm not a tough guy.
right, but you sat through it, you lived, and you got another day, right? I don't know where this whole thing came about with the anesthesia thing. Apparently, people with money started to do this because it can't be cheap. I mean, anesthesia for a regular surgery is like almost like I'm just throwing a number out there, but it's like 80 grand. I mean, it's not cheap. So I can't even imagine what you would spend for something that would be considered to be voluntary anesthesia to get a tattoo done?
I mean, I think I've mostly seen sports people, athletes, right?
No, well, there's been athletes. There's been Dak Prescott was probably the biggest one because there was a huge, uproar about the fact that he never told the owner of the Dallas Cowboys that he was doing that. And as much as nobody wants to say this out loud, I'm gonna say it. But when you work for the NFL and you signed a contract, they kind of own you.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I'm a Steelers fan. I remember at one point that Ben Roethlisberger, he got fined by the team because they found out he was riding his motorcycle during the season.
Roethlisberger?
Yeah. Hey man, he won a couple Super Bowls.
Let's go downtown and get some Roethlisbergers.
Ironically enough, at Permane Brothers in Pittsburgh, they have a Roethlisberger sandwich.
Nice.
So,
if you guys can't hear me, it's because I was just out of the hospital. So I'm sorry if my voice is annoying.
At this point, we're going to kick this around because I wanted to say, okay, well, this guy died. He passed away from an anesthesia tattoo. What's the odds? What is a normal statistics for somebody getting anesthesia for a tattoo? It's actually surprisingly low.
So before I went into the hospital, I actually did some reading about anesthesia, right? And everything that I read said that anesthesia is like sleep. Like they know that it works, but they don't know what happens to you.
Okay.
Like they don't know where your consciousness goes.
Right.
Which I think is like absolutely fascinating.
So for you people that are on your phones, this will probably be a little tough to see, but there's a graph here, and it goes by age group and basically how many deaths per million, and it averages out for males to be like 1.74. It actually comes to be like 0.96 per million for females, and then the older you get, the odds increase significantly, which you can see here on this chart at the end. You can see that it starts to climb as you get older. But in this article, the original studies talk about how, at the beginning, the odds were, enormous, 40s and 50s. And throughout the years, anesthesia, they've gotten better at it with controlling, heart rates and breathing and all that stuff. And the numbers have declined. But the fact of the matter is, there's still that small percentage of you dying from anesthesia from a surgery that, to me, to go and get something electively done, as trivial as a tattoo, makes absolutely no sense. And I say that in the terms of electively, there are women that do breast reductions or butt lifts, or guys, they get liposuction. So those are electoral surgeries. But for something as a tattoo, which, if you're that into tattoos to that, you're at that point where you're saying, okay, man, I'm going to do my whole back. You know what you're getting. So it's really like, it's not like the end of the world to sit through a tattoo. And ironically enough, I had a couple conversations with some people down in Philly at the convention about this. And the one guy was just like, look, dude, I struggled with my back, but you know what I did? I did a little piece at a time. And I went and I said, you know what, man, I can handle 2 hours, 3 hours. And then I would be like, all right, I'm done. I'll come back. And you know what? It took me a while to do it. But because we have this society of instant gratification, there are people that are like, hey, man, I'm going to spend a shit ton of money. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to wake up 8 hours later, and I'm going to have a banging tattoo on my back.
I mean, once the outline's done, you can definitely do it in pieces.
So we got a couple people that chimed in already on this. So there were a couple people that said they actually saw it. Chris Hawkins said he actually saw the sit down, but the poll, he didn't see the poll. Fat Cracker said that he saw the sit down a few times. Drag said 2025, get a good year, 100%. And then he said, no pain, no gain. Sorry, but to be tattooed, it needs to go through the pain, my opinion. There you go. Drag said 1 in 100,000 patients dies from anesthesia normally, they say. So, yeah, I mean, I saw a ton of different statistics that were kicked around. Matter of fact, I found one that was a 7-year study done by Columbia University that stated that 1 in 20 die within a year of receiving anesthesia. So within a year, might not be immediately, but it could be, 6-7 months down the road. But I also think that there was other factors that were thrown into that. People with heart problems, or they're older, you know what I mean? Or maybe have breathing problems. Like that's always like a big factor for anesthesia patients. Like if you have, what's the disease where you can't breathe right? Like emphysema. Yeah. So if you have like emphysema, stuff like that, that's gonna create some issues.
But this dude was young and healthy, right?
Yeah, he's 45 years old. He was jacked. I mean, he looked like he was pretty good shape. Chris Hawkins says it's solely on the client, in my opinion. So he sides with you. Sarah said it doesn't sound like there was any negligence on the part of the doctors or the tattoo artist. We're going to get to that point in a second. Sadly, she said also, sadly, I think it was just bad luck. He just happens to be the statistic. Very, very sad. Nikki, our moderator, said, I read that he was doing the anesthesia because it was his whole back. He didn't want to do multiple sessions. And Chris Hawkins just said the odds are a lot better than no versus no anesthesia.
The odds are better if you don't.
Yeah, the odds are better if you don't do the anesthesia. Stephen McLeod, what's up? Thank you for joining us. How you folks? Have you folks ever met Crazy Ace Daniels from Way Cool Tattoos? I have not.
I haven't either.
Steven, where is Way Cool Tattoos at? Chris Hawkins said, I'm sorry, but you're skipping the experience. That's a big part of it for me, at least. Sarah said, I wouldn't want to go under for a tattoo because if I can't handle the pain of getting it done, how am I going to handle healing it?
Yeah, the trouble is with the idea of tattoos just being purely aesthetic. Just like, graphic art slapped on your body that you don't have to earn, or that you don't have to even necessarily put much thought into.
I like this dude, Steven Street, already. Oh, this is a different Steven. All right, here you go. So what about waking up and feeling the pain? You must surely feel a lot after A, waking up, B, your body then reacting. Point is it will still hurt. Fat Cracker said that he had read that their steroids may have been a big reason. That is a possibility, dude. Steroids, when you're mixing with other stuff, is a major no-no. And this is what made me laugh. Stephen Street said, pain in tattooing is inescapable, just like taxes. Right on, man. Fat Cracker said, I'm here today to learn how to be a cool guy.
Nice.
There you go.
You know what they say, discount tattoos, all the pain is for free.
Okay. So Stephen McLeod said, Way Cool started in 94 in Toronto, who was with Gil Monty in Florida from 84 to 85. I will definitely have to look that out. Oh, okay. And then Bill
Is,
O'Connell said he also heard that the guy may have been a steroid user. So,
is Toronto on the West Coast?
no, that's directly above New York. It's like
I thought that was Montreal.
that's further north. So Toronto's like on the other side of Lake Erie,
Okay.
basically. I had to go there a couple times for work. I actually like Toronto, man. It's a great town. But Steven, I've had a couple people ask me about doing some Canadian artists. So they're definitely I'm gonna start looking into doing some of the Canadian artists that are legendary people.
Yeah, Paul Jeffries, Smiling Buddha.
So keep an eye out for it, man. You never know. I just, been rolling through some people that I was either knew or were associated with people I knew, that kind of thing. So,
There was a tattoo convention up there for a couple years.
yeah, there's a big one in Toronto. Dude, Canada has a huge tattoo culture, and they should never be discounted from the discussion. That's for sure. Just like Mexico, Mexico, same thing, man. Everybody always just thinks America and Europe, but there's plenty of legendary people from different. Anyhow, I'm rambling. Here's my thought. I know, Fat Cracker's like, oh, I'm here to be the cool guy or whatever, joking around because busting balls about anesthesia or whatever. Look, dude, I don't give a shit about somebody using numbing cream if they got a spot or whatever that they can't use. But man, why would you want to take the risk of gamble just to get your back done, dude? Like, I don't know, man. It just seems so risky to me, man. To do that when, I kind of almost look like it at this point because it's so expensive as a clout chasing kind of thing. Like, dude, I got the money to go do this. Because I mean, it's possible, but I've never heard of like regular people going and doing that.
Nope.
I've never met any regular people that have done it. And if they did, they, I guess, didn't have the intestinal fortitude to say I did it out of embarrassment.
I mean,
or whatever.
I mean, there is the whole, for lack of a better word, like test of manhood aspect to tattooing. Can you sit in the chair? Like when I see somebody that's heavily tattooed, I know that they've put their time in and they've sat through a lot of discomfort, and that's a big part of it for me. But I swear, every Instagram reel I see now, it's numbing cream, then the stencil, then the tattoo. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, like I said to you, man, when I was at the Philly convention, I walked in the door. There was a guy that handed me samples of tattoo goo. They got two different versions of tattoo goo now. They have one that's like, I guess it's immediate aftercare. And then they got one that's supposed to like brighten and enhance your tattoos. And then the right to my right was like, it was like going through a gauntlet, dude. The dude on the right was the guy that was passing out the whatever the brand new numbing cream is from some company that I didn't even. I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. No, I don't want that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, dude. I don't give a shit what anybody else does. I know what I do, and that's all that matters to me, man. Maybe it's from being in the AA thing or whatever, dude. But I'd worry about the 12-inch box around my feet, and that's it, dude. You know what I mean? Like what other people do is their business. So it is what it is. I don't agree with it, but whatever.
I got my buddy Bob Wax, and he did the suspensions for years, and he talked a lot about being in that much physical pain. Not to be corny or whatever, but the spiritual side of it, where like he would almost become divorced from his body.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had anything that radical happen to me when I was getting tattooed, but I've definitely had, I've been able to just turn it into a sensation like heat or cold and kind of take the pain portion out of it. And I mean, you have to wonder, like, with the, especially with the tribal tattooing, like the Tongans and the Samoans, two guys hold you down and a tattooer tattoos you for 3 days in a row.
Mm.
Where does your mind go?
To another place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Like, you're envisioning yourself floating on an island somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten to like a point where I was like a spiritual moment while I was getting tattooed. I've gotten to points where, especially long sessions, like where I've, 5-6 hours in or whatever, maybe to the point where, your body part starts feeling a little bit like raw hamburger, and you start doing the breathing exercises just so you could kind of like not focus on it.
Yeah.
But you know, I
I hate
also got the tattoo flu immediately after those long sessions, dude.
I hate when it feels like they're not moving the machine anymore. Like when they're just digging like a hole in
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
back.
It feels like it's like a consistent, like in the
Yeah,
same spot.
absolutely.
You're like, hey, dude, can you move away from that little dime piece that you're doing on my leg? Yeah. No, I got you, man. So Steven said East Coast, Niagara Falls, 2 hours away from Toronto. Sailor Fred and Miss Kate are on the carnival circuit. Now, Sailor Fred, I know for sure. Then Fat Cracker said Ephemeral Remy is out of Canada. And then he said, in all the years of getting tattooed, including I've never used numbing cream or been sedated, straight up raw tattooing. I would not ever do a general anesthesia tattoo session. Yeah, I just don't think the risk is worth it. Steven Street said, I don't get the numbing or anesthesia thing. Maybe it's my age, 54. I don't enjoy the pain, knees, etc. hurt. I know from experience, but it's part of the whole experience, and there's the healing. Man, you guys are on fire in chat, dude. I love it. I love it. Makes our job so much easier.
Absolutely.
In all the years, so Fat Cracker said, in all the years of getting tattooed, including inner lip and both palms, I have never used numbing cream or been sedated. Straight up raw tattooing. I would never do general anesthesia. Our moderator Nikki said, I got a tattoo on a leg that has nerve damage from an accident. Numbing cream didn't even exist then, but that was the only time I cringed or cried getting inked. And then Fat Cracker said, and this is the end all to be all to the argument right there. Not worth dying for.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've used numbing cream twice, but the times I've used numbing cream, I was tattooing myself.
big difference, dude.
Yeah, I was tattooing my kneecaps.
You don't want to flinch while you're doing your own. Like, I don't know how you could do that anyway. I'm not a tattoo artist, man. So I don't know how you could sit there and actually do that to yourself to begin with. So having a spot on like your knee, that's yeah, I got no qualms about that. But
and then it's funny what Nikki said, the moderator. I have nerve damage in my right leg, and right where it bends, I got a straight razor, so the handle's on the top, and I didn't feel it at all.
yeah,
just like naturally.
I got a spot on my thigh from getting hit, and that's part of why I had the back surgery. But I got a spot on my thigh. It's like the size of a dinner plate where I can't feel anything.
Wow.
It would literally be like Mr. Deeds when he's whacking the foot with the thing, like Ricky Bobby when he stabs himself with the pen.
Yeah,
man. I wouldn't want to try it, but Fat Cracker said numbing cream can also F up the skin, so that's not easy to tattoo. But I would do a future tattoo with local anesthesia that only covers the area that you are getting tattooed on. He said, "Sorry, fat fingers." When you're I'm typing.
So I
don't know where you're going with that, bro, but I got you.
I did see that. It was an article about Chicago, where they will come in and give. Wow, my voice. They will come in and give you local, like a local anesthesia to where you're getting tattooed.
Thank you, Bill, for the $5 super chat. So they'll come in and give you local anesthesia
Yeah.
while you're in the tattoo shop.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, and actually this is for all you out there listening right now, do you think that this person dying and being such a highly publicized event will change tattooing? Anesthesia tattooing? I'm sorry.
No.
No?
No.
You don't think it's going to have any implications?
I think the kind of people that want to get anesthesia done are going to get anesthesia done.
Okay. So I got some people that have chimed in that text me that can't do chat. Jersey Dave said, after going through cancer, tattoo is a piece of cake pain-wise. There you go. Fat Cracker said local anesthesia is just like going to a skin doctor and getting the skin tags removed. Nobody died from it. And then Fat Cracker said it was Tattoo MD Chicago is the company. What's up, Luz? Good to see you, man. Don't worry about being late. You're here. That's all that matters. Yeah, man. I don't. So we got people chiming in saying that there's not going to be any change. I don't know. I kind of feel like they're going to crack down on it, man. I feel like that well, let me take that back. I think if it was in the United States, there might be more implications here. But because the guy was from Brazil, I don't know if the light is going to be shined on it enough. But if it was somebody, I don't want to even say like a big name influencer because I don't want to put like the bad juju on somebody. But so if it was a big influencer here in the United States, right? And they went and got an anesthesia tattoo and they passed away. Do you think it would be like, like it would be all over the news? And then all of a sudden these companies, they would have like people knocking on their door the next day going, dude, let me see all your certifications. Let's see how you're doing this. Da-da-da.
Well, I think that I don't think it would have any effect because, I mean, think of just cosmetic surgery in general. What you were saying earlier, it's all elective.
Okay.
I mean, the liposuction, the removing of the extra skin, the butt lifts, the facelifts. I mean, that's a multi-million-dollar industry now.
But I don't think I've ever heard of anybody dying from those. I know somebody that had died. I take that back.
But there must in just by the sheer numbers.
Yeah.
There must have been people that died.
So I'm going to walk back that statement for a second because I did know there was a girl that was a manager of a band that I used to work for. She was a big girl, right? And I stopped working for the band, and then I saw her probably like a year later, and she wound up getting gastric bypass, and she lost a shit ton of weight, man. She looked really good, like healthy, like she looked good. But apparently she had like, because she was so big that she had like the flap that was hanging, right?
Mhm.
She had the meat skirt, right? And so she went to go get that cut off, and unfortunately she did pass away from that. But it wasn't from the anesthesia. It was just from the surgery itself. There was tons of complications with that surgery, apparently. So if I ever lose enough weight, I guess I'm just going to have to walk around with a meat skirt. You know what I mean?
For guys, it's called a fanny pack.
Fanny pack?
Yeah.
Okay.
When that part of your belly just kind of leans over your junk, that's a fanny pack.
I do not have that problem, but I guess if you lost enough weight or
Yeah.
whatever. But interesting. Never heard that before. Nikki, our moderator, said, no, the people with money that want big ink will still do it because his death was ruled a heart issue, not an anesthesia issue. That's another thing I think is a different angle from this, right? I believe that there's going to be tons of people that do this in the United States or throughout the world that do anesthesia tattoos as a trade craft, whatever the hell you want to call it. They're just going to chalk it up as, well, you know what, dude, the guy had heart problems. That was not, which I get. I understand that. But then it also kind of makes me wonder, like, dude, like, I had to go get my back surgery, right? I mean, they literally gutted me and they cut my back. So like they did my gut first, put all my organs on the table, put the cage around my spine, put my organs back in, sewed me up, and then they flipped me like a rotisserie turkey, and then they cut my back open, and they finished like tightening down the clamps and stuff, right? And you know, that was a heavy duty surgery.
Yeah.
Heavy duty surgery. I had to get all kinds of pre-surgery testing done. Blood work, made sure my heart stuff was taken care of. As far as I had to even go to the dentist to make sure the dentist signed off on it, because they don't want you to be intubated and a tooth come undone and you choke on a tooth or whatever. I don't know. I think there's also has something to do with if you got like gum disease or whatever, you could like put an infection in your bloodstream. So like there's all these things that I'm thinking through that I'm like, holy shit, dude, I had to jump through hoops to do that. Did they do that with this guy? And at nowhere at any article, and I read multiple articles, not just one article, at no point did I see any of that where anybody even discussed it. So who knows if any of that was even done?
Yeah, that's why I think it's on him.
Looking at the chat, dude, I think that the majority of the people are in agreement with you that it's on him.
I mean, this might seem morbid, but any idea what he was going to get?
What?
You think he was going to get like naked women and like cars and?
Dude, he better had like the goddamn Sistine Chapel lined up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. It was going to be like a big naked lady with some fat cars and gold and stuff, man.
Probably. Sarah said Brazilian butt lifts are the most dangerous plastic surgery there is. They are illegal in places, but not in Brazil. And then Fat Cracker said that's intense book. Yeah, I didn't mean to go into detail about that, but I guess kind of goes with the story. I'm actually I've been having I still have to wait. I'm trying to get to the point where my wounds from that are healed enough where my scar is actually white instead of like an off-colored purple. So Justin can tattoo some zippers on there for me. I'm going to get them done on my back and one on my my stomach. So because I'm going to have those scars forever. It's not like they're going away. I mean, my back, I have one on the left of my spine, one down my spine, and one on the right of my spine. And then on my gut is just a little bit south of my belly button, all the way down to like your bush.
Okay.
There you go. So there you go.
All the way down to the man bush.
Yeah, to the man bush. Valhalla on his back. Well, that would be appropriate, dude.
I saw this thing today.
He didn't even get to the tattooing part. That's the jacked up part, dude. He died before the guy even started the tattoo. The dude wasn't even ready to rock and roll yet.
I saw this thing today with the actor that played Ragnar in Vikings.
Yeah.
And he was talking about people that have his face.
That's got to be weird.
Tattooed on them.
Yeah.
And he's like, what if it turns out I'm a dick? What if it turns out you don't like me?
Yeah, man. I that always kind of struck me odd that somebody would get a picture of somebody on like
a fictional character.
So if it was like your kid or your mom or something, yeah, all day. But like somebody that's like dude, I've seen people get like rock stars and stuff on their body. Man, I don't know. It's just it's me. It's my own personal opinion, but it just seems kind of weird. Bill O'Connell said it's a risk, but we all take them daily by choice and necessity. Riding bikes, driving in bad weather, skydiving, etc. Leaving the house anymore is a risk. That's true.
Riding bikes.
Definitely. Man, I went down on my bike. I got hit 3 times. I went down on my bike on a set of wet railroad tracks. The 3 times I got hit by some jackass that wasn't paying attention, had no problem getting back on the bike. The time I went down on the wet railroad tracks, which was the last time, it took me a year to shake the the funk off to the point where, you know, because when you're riding a motorcycle, you got to get to a point mental wise
You can't be scared.
that you go, you just have to accept it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, man, if this is how I'm going to go, this is how I'm going to go. And, you know, some people, like I said, the first couple times, no problem, man. I was ready to rock and roll. This last time, because I think it was more, I felt in my mind, it was like more my fault instead of some dick hitting me that wasn't paying attention. It was me getting stuck in the rut of a wet railroad track and grabbing a handful of brake, I think, and going down.
That almost happened to me with Annie on the bike.
Yeah, that's no good, dude. Yeah, Bill O'Connell said, wet railroad tracks can suck for sure. Yeah, man. Bad situation for me, dude.
So I haven't worked for a month, or I haven't worked since the 10th. And a buddy of mine put up a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And you know, motorcycle parts. You know what I'm saying? New motorcycle parts.
Yeah, no, dude. Ass.
Right? Fuck the rent. New motorcycle parts.
Yeah, no,
Time to-
man.
Time to get that coffin tank.
You know, shout out to Medusa that watches our show pretty much, you know, if not every week, every other week, man. He actually donated to the cause, dude. So that was cool. Shout out to you, man, for doing that. You know, hopefully you can get over the hump, dude, and get back to work once you get you know, the rest of the stuff taken care of, man. And you know, I know it sucks for you, dude, with your shop being shuttered for almost a month now. And it's probably going to be at least another week or two before you get back to work. So we're all rooting for you, dude.
Thanks,
and,
man.
You know, it's, you know, I don't think about it sometimes because, you know, I have that, you know, corporate 9-to-5 job where, like, you know, something were to happen like that with a surgery or whatever, like I still can get paid and whatnot. And, you know, shop's closed, you don't get paid. That's what it is, man. And that sucks, dude. So hopefully you get better soon and can get back to it, man.
Motorcycle parts.
Fat Cracker said, "You mean I shouldn't get the tattoo of you and Justin? Shit, I already put in for the deposit." Dude, yo, I don't even know what I would do for you if you did that, but that would be freaking hysterical. Honestly, dude, if you were gonna do it, you should do the little gnome dudes that we made for.
Absolutely.
So yesterday, funny story just to lighten up the mood since we've been talking about this craziness with the anesthesia thing. I went to go do an interview yesterday, and one of the girls that works at the shop,
Fangirls.
yeah, I don't want to, I don't want to say fangirl because but she was very excited to see me, man, and she thought that I lived like somewhere else on the planet. Or
Was she cute?
Yeah, you know, she's married, you know, has a little kid, you know, so she's but dude, she was just shocked that I was there in the building, man, and was all like, "Can I get a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." Like, and then when we got done doing everything, at the end of the day, I just go, You see now that I'm just like a regular dude, right? Like, this isn't. I don't know where you like think I'm. It's not like I'm on TV or in the movies or something. I'm just a
Well,
dude
you
that
are
makes
sort of on TV.
dude that makes YouTube videos, man. I ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. Laugh out loud at Fat Cracker. Would love to see that. No, don't do that, dude. Don't do that, man. Because what if I turn out to be a dick? I am a dick. That would be hysterical, though. Yeah, man. So,
I mean, would you ever? Is there any like character from a book or from a TV show or movie that you would get tattooed on you?
Well, it's already. I mean, I do have tattoos but they're not like a actor that played a fictional character. So I do have fictional characters on me. Yeah. But are you talking about like that, like an actor
Yeah,
or a musician or something?
Yeah, an actor or a musician.
Nah, not off the top of my head, dude. Not that I could think of. The only thing that would even come remotely close would be like I always wanted to get like some of the stuff that was on the Pink Floyd The Wall, that center gatefold.
Mm-hmm.
That would be banging. but that's not a fictional character or somebody played it. You know what I mean? Like I don't I don't I don't know, man. Like I'm not like I don't do comic books and all that stuff, so that would leave any of the like Deadpool or you know what I mean. And as far as like movies and stuff like that, I mean, I can't really think of a movie that I would just be like, I gotta get Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump tattooed on me.
I did a traditional Star Wars sleeve.
Okay.
So that there was like I did a Princess Leia pinup in the Return of the Jedi.
Did you give her the cinnamon buns?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
R2D2, Darth Vader, Han Solo's gun with a banner that said "Hand shot first."
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice.
Would you get somebody famous tattooed on you?
A TV character.
Any? What about you out there in the world right now listening to us in chat? Throw us on there. Who would you get? That's a fictional character, or the actor that played the fictional character. That's even better.
I would get Bill the Butcher from Gangs of New York. So Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, okay. I've actually seen that tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that tattoo. Nikki, the moderator, said Pennywise or the Last Unicorn. Drag said Nosferatu, but the 1921.
Nice.
Not the new one.
Shrek.
But that's not really. That's not.
No, Max Shrek. That's who played the vampire.
Oh, I thought you meant like the character Shrek with the little green dude. I'm like, that's not really a person.
And they Drag, if you like that, there's a movie called Shadow of the Vampire, which explores the idea that Max Shrek really was a vampire. Yeah.
Fat Cracker said, "What about the 9-year-old girl that wanted to get a Donald Trump tattoo on her neck?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Fat Cracker was like, "Dude, you should get their parents to come on to do an interview on the live stream or whatever." I would do it, dude. If I could get a hold of them, I think I would do it just to be like, what the F is wrong with you? Look, man, if you're an adult and you want to get that, that's your deal, dude. Like you know what I mean? But you're talking about your kid, dude. That's I don't know, man.
So with the Bill the Butcher tattoo, I would definitely I would have him with his arms crossed with the cleaver and with the knife. But then I would put like cannon behind him and an eagle with a banner that says, "I'm glad I die a true American."
Her parents wanted it more than her. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. It seems like it was being pushed on that little girl. Chris Hawkins said, "My wife, mother-in-law, and both daughters have 1941 Wonder Woman."
Nice.
That's cool.
Nice.
That's cool. Fat Cracker said that'd be classic for your tattoo that you were talking about, Daniel Day-Lewis, and bring the tattooers on the show. Yeah, man. If shoot me the info, dude. I know you did. Actually, I think I still have it, man. I'll reach out to them and see if they want to do it, dude. I would love to see what they have to say about that and what their thoughts were about doing that tattoo. That's crazy to me that a 9-year-old would get tattooed, man. I mean, it'd be different if like your family was, you came from a family of tattoo artists and stuff like that, and you were destined to be like, a tattooer. Well, I could see that, but yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I just don't think the little kids should be getting tattoos. Bill O'Connell said, "I have pinup girls, but I don't know who they are." So there you go. That's what I'm saying. When I'm saying fictional character, I mean, we're talking about people like that got like Obi-Wan Kenobi, but instead of the old dude, who I don't remember his name, they got the Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it's like, you meet Ewan McGregor and he's like, "Bro, what the why do you have my face on your body?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's odd. Sarah said, "The frog tattoo I have on my leg is for a band, and the frog has some of the same tattoos as my favorite band members. That's the closest I have gotten, or that's the closest I'd get to having a person, I think." Yeah, I'm not really. That's a good call, though. That's a good question, man, because I never even really thought about that.
Yep, man. Black flag bars are just the live, laugh, love tattoo for old punk rockers.
Well, you're a huge Ramones fan. Would you get any of the Ramones tattooed on you?
I would get the Ramones from the cover of Road to Ruin. So it's a graffiti style Ramones.
I forgot to tell you, man, while we're on the subject of music, and if you'd like to continue to listen, that's cool. If not, so they found lost Bowie tapes. It's on YouTube right now. You can watch it. This dude is doing a documentary about it, and they found lost Bowie tapes that when he did the sessions at Sigma Sound in Philly, and the guy that taught me how to do sound was the engineer. Was one of the engineers, and he's in the documentary, man. I turned it on because I was like, oh, wow, lost Sigma tapes. I'm like, that's Philly. I'm into that. Let me check that out. I turned it on, dude. Boom. My boy Jim Gallagher right there. I was like, holy shit, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So that's my story for the night. Fat Cracker said black flag on the knuckles. There you go, man. Well, I hope you all have a great week, a safe week, and I hope you all come back next week. And for the people that listen to this after the fact, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you all next week. Peace.
Be safe, everyone.